welcome to Friday Reads, where we help you find your next read. I'm Jill, and I'm here with Julie, and this week we're going to talk about graphic novels.
And graphic novels certainly are a growing genre, and they are not just for kids. You may be familiar with the graphic novels in our kids and teen sections, but from classics to comics, there is a lot to discover for adults also.
And if you see a title you like, don't forget to put it on hold at infosoup.org. While our doors are closed to the public, we're still doing, the Kimberly Little Chute Public Library is still doing curbside pickup during our regular operating hours. And no appointment is necessary. Once you get that notification, just show up, give us a call, and we'll bring your book out to you.
Okay, so I will jump in with my first pick, and my first pick today is actually Animal Farm, the graphic novel, adapted and illustrated by a Brazilian illustrator called Oder. If you remember George Orwell's classic story from 1945, a group of farm animals rebel against their human farmer, hoping to recreate a society where animals can be equal, free, and happy. Ultimately, however, that rebellion is betrayed and the farm ends up in a state as bad as it was before under the dictatorship of a pig named Napoleon. So in this graphic novel, all those favorite characters and animals are in here. They come to life. And this adaptation moves seamlessly between satire and fable and will appeal to all ages, just as George Orwell intended. There's some other classics that have also been turned into graphic novels. We have Pride and Prejudice, Romeo and Juliet, Jane Eyre, Fahrenheit 451, Anne Frank's Diary, and Anne of Green Gables, all in the InfoSoup collection. And you can see the illustrations in this, they're done beautifully. So if a classic, if you don't want to dive into the classic, but you want to explore it, it might be good to check out a graphic novel.
And my first one is, this is an autobiographical memoirish type thing called Hyperbole and a Half by Ali Bosch. I picked this one because the illustrations in it, I've seen in memes so many times that I thought it was a fun one. And this is about, the author is dealing with depression. And this is like her book that it's about her depression and all the things that happen with that. She also has a new book that's out. It's probably in InfoSoup right now, although I don't think it's processed here yet. It's called Solutions and Other Problems, and it's got the same funny looking character. So if you like this one, there's another one that's coming, and you can probably put it on hold right away.
And my second pick is a very big graphic novel. It's called Blankets by Craig Thompson, who was an author raised in rural Wisconsin. So it takes place in the blustery Midwestern winter, and it's a semi-autobiographical memoir. It's about a coming-of-age high school romance and the tale of two brothers growing up in this isolated rural area. This young author wrestles with bullies, his religious faith, tries to find his creative voice as an adolescent as he moves into adulthood. National Public Radio actually included this book in its top 100 graphic novels of the year. So that's a good recommendation. This author, Craig Thompson, also wrote a graphic novel for young readers called Space Dumplings about a young heroine on a mission to save her dad. And currently he is writing a bi-monthly comic book series called Ginseng Roots. And that series explores agriculture, holistic healing, and again, that bond between two brothers. So I'm guessing that's something they did when they were living in rural Wisconsin. So it's a big one, 600 pages almost. This one's all black and white, but you can see his beautiful illustrations and his story.
Like those ones in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So this one, Your Town, is put out by Van Ryder Games. There's several that are kind of like this. They're actually interactive novels where they are graphic novels, but there's like rules to them, and you can play. It's kind of like a choose your adventure for adults. In this one, you're traveling across the plains of the Wild West, and you arrive in Your Town, a dusty and forgotten collection of 6 ramshackle buildings. After surveying the town and its handful of residents, you make a decision. You'll put down roots, improve the town, and bring prosperity to its citizens. Construct buildings, hire qualified staff, buy land, manage your finances, and explore the nearby wilderness, all in the pursuit of making your town one of the best. Because the mayor of this town is you. So that was kind of something different, you know, if you want a little interactive experience with your reading. There's several of them. Van Ryder Games, it's by.
And my third pick for today is actually Parasite, a graphic novel in storyboards by Bong Joon-ho. You may recognize this book. It's the behind-the-scenes look at the making of the Oscar-winning film. As part of the creative process for the film, the director storyboarded each shot of Parasite prior to the filming of each scene. Accompanied by the film's dialogue, the storyboards he drew capture the story in its entirety. So you can see his different storyboards that he put in here. It's got a different way for you to experience the film. Parasite was the first non-English language film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture, and the director also won for Best Director. Some of his other work includes Snowpiercer, Mother, and The Host. So if you want a new, fresh look at a deeply affecting, genre-defying story, this is a different way to experience the film Parasite.
My next one was a Prince Honor book. This is Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. It's by Mariko Tamaki and Rosemary Valerie O'Connell. Mariko Tamaki has written some other graphic novels that have been very good. This is a genuine novel written in the graphic novel format. It's about a relationship between two women. It's on again, off again. And it kind of explores about young love and makes us consider what happens when we ditch the toxic relationships we crave and embrace the healthy ones that we need. So yeah, this is important. I think that's an important topic for a lot of young people, or, you know, old people too. Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me.
My fourth pick is Clue Candlestick with art by Dash Shaw. This book turns the board game that everyone's probably familiar with into comic book brilliance. Shaw's off-kilter art style keeps readers on their toes looking for clues amongst his wild swings in color and in tone of the story. It's filled with puzzles, secrets, and lies, and everyone's a suspect in this whodunit. Was it Miss Scarlet? In the conservatory with the lead pipe? Suspicions mount as the dead bodies pile up in this book. So a little bit about the author. Dash Shaw is a cartoonist and animator. His most recent book is Doctors, and it's about doctors who enter deceased patients' afterlives to revive them from death. He's done other books, New School and The Bottomless Belly Button, and he's also got an animated feature film, My Entire High School Sinking into the Sea, all of which are in our InfoSoup catalog. So if you want to take a classic board game and do it via graphic novel with puzzles, secrets, you might want to check out Clue Candlestick.
So when I was looking at graphic novels, I noticed that there's quite a few that are like biographies, but they're not really biographies. This one's one of them, The Twilight Man. This is by Corin Shadme. It's about Rod Serling and the birth of television. And I found this interesting because I just read the reboot of watched the reboot of Twilight Zone, and it was very good. It was very fun to watch. And now I want to watch the old ones again. And so this could be an interesting thing to look at somebody's life without having the big commitment of reading a heady biography, because you got a lot of pictures. And I think that's one of the fun things about graphic novels is, you know, they make reading a little fun. And it still counts as reading, we promise you.
And my last pick today is actually a nonfiction selection. So there's even nonfiction in the graphic novels. It's called Dancing at the Pity Party, a Dead Mom graphic memoir by Tyler Fader. The author had just gotten through her first year of college when her super cool mom was diagnosed with cancer. Now, with a decade of grief and nervous laughter under her belt, Tyler shares that story. From her mom's first oncology appointment, through the stages of her cancer, to the funeral and afterward, when she must try to make sense of being a motherless daughter. She shares all the important post-death firsts, such as celebrating holidays without her mom, the despair of having to clean out her mom's closets, getting rid of old traditions and having to start new ones, and the sting of having the I've got to tell mom about this instinct and not being able to act on it. I still have that instinct 9 years after losing my mom, so I know what that's like. So this memoir, it's frank and a funny look at what it's like to grieve. It's for anyone struggling with loss who just wants someone else to get it. So the next book for this author is Bodies Are Cool, which is coming out next summer in June of 2021. And she's doing a body positivity picture book for preschoolers. So I'll show you what the illustrations and story in this one are. And this is a really good one.
I like that. So a lot of people equate graphic novels with comics, like the DC comics or the Marvel comics. but it's also bringing back some of old comics. This is a new book, actually. In 2019, it was Little Lulu Working Girl. It's not the only one. There's several other of them. And this is which the author, John Stanley, brings back the Little Lulu comics, which was popular in the 1940s. And, you know, it was a comic strip, and it's all they had back at the time. So I thought that was kind of fun, you know, bringing back some old nostalgic stuff that for adults. It's not for kids. Well, it might be for kids. You might want to read it first to make sure.
Very cute.
Just Little Lulu.
Very, very cute. That's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you got some ideas and have been inspired to check out the graphic novel collection.
We'll see you next time, and if you have a favorite graphic novel, please share below. We'd love to hear from you. Happy reading.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.